Hey guys, welcome to the channel. This is BMF DIY and I'm Brooks.
Woo! My ninja skills come in handy all the time.
Welcome back to another glorious episode of BMF DIY. I'm Brooks. AP's here and we have a cooler. What are we going to do with this?
We're gonna make it into a fan or air conditioner because my school is really hot.
Okay. So his school, they don't have air conditioning and it doesn't matter what time of year it is, it's really hot. So this is going to be a swamp cooler, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so basically this is going to hold ice and it's going to blow air out. We're going to make this dual purpose though. So we got our cooler and we got some goodies inside here. So we have our fan. Got a bunch of these sitting around. I got these off of eBay a long time ago. So this fan will push a heck of a lot of air. And then we've got a bunch of other goodies. This will be our air outlet. So I like these because you can sandwich the sidewall of the cooler in between here and it seals it nice and ice doesn't come out. So we're going to use that as our vent. We might add another one, but we've got one to start with. We've got a power supply. This is really neat. It is a, how many watts did I get this for? It's a 10 amp. So if you do watts divided by volts, we're going to end up having 12 volts DC. You end up getting your amps. And this fan right here is a 90 watt fan. So what's 90 divided by 12? It's like 7.5 amps. Whatever. It's close enough. But the point is that this will handle more current than the fan will draw. So we know it's going to work with it. So we've got this. The nice thing about it is that it has a provision for what would normally be a cigarette lighter in a car. So the nice thing about that is the other piece we have is an adapter like this. So we've got a fuse right here that will go on the end, and then these two wires will connect to our fan. And the super nice thing is that if you really want to, you could plug this into a cigarette lighter in your car. You'd obviously have to extend the wires a little bit, but you get the idea. We're not making it for that, but if you wanted to do that, you definitely could. You just have to extend the wires on this guy. So this will plug into our Hotor power supply, and it will power it up, but it will also be fused on this side, which is what you want just for added protection. And we're going to get to it. So we'll walk you through the process as we do it, and we'll test it when we're done and make sure that it works good. So the first thing we have to do is figure out where we want our fan and where we want the air outlet to be.
Alright.
So I like the fan to be kind of like this. I think that it'll work really good right there, and then the outlet we'll have on the other side over here. That way it's got to travel across to get out. So that is my plan.
Alright.
And I think we'll start by tracing out where we want our fan to go. So all we're going to do is trace out around the outside of the fan so that we know where the outside is. And then we're going to make some cuts on the inside.
Okay.
So this part here is fairly easy. This is just so we make sure we get our fan in the same spot after we take it off. There we go. So there's a mark for the outside of our fan. Now what we're going to do is cut a giant hole right here. So we're more than likely going to cut right there to start with. And then we will come back and trim it as necessary after we get a hole through the top and the bottom. And then for this, we're going to make sure that we put this above the ice, but we want to make sure that we can have a bunch of ice in here. All right, so now it's time to cut. So we're going to have to cut the lid, but we'll also have to cut here. And I've got a hole saw for the side, and the top we'll probably just use a jigsaw, or razor blades are dangerous on this because they'll slip and blah, blah, blah. We'll probably just drill a hole with a drill and get our jigsaw bit in there and just all the way around.
Yep.
So we have our drill, safety glasses, don't get plastic in your eye. So we're just going to start by drilling a hole right there. Yep, 2 hands. Hold it there. Hold it back here on the truck. There you go. Push. Keep going. Keep going. There we go. So now we got a hole. Perfect. Just what we wanted. And then we're just going to cut around in a circle on that middle part. Boom. Okay, now we're probably going to have to cut out some of these, some of the hole on the inside too. Yeah, see, so we didn't get all of it. So we'll have to come back in here and cut out this, probably with just a knife, and then the same with right up here. Grab that. I'll have to do the same here. Now you see how I'm cutting and I don't have my hand over here? If I slip, that's right through my hand, right? So I'm up above where my cut is being made. I'm right here. That way if I do slip, I'm not getting any fingers. There we go. Look at that. So this lid is a little bit different, so we're probably not going to have to do much in the course of filling it. So got our hole there. We'll test fit our fan. Yeah. So we're going to have to trim a little bit more. All right, so we trimmed our hole, and we just went a little bit on the inside of the outer mark that we made here, and that lines up a lot better. See there, like that. So now what we want to do is attach our fan. And I've got some of these small screws, and I'm just going to go right in these open holes here. We've got 2 on each side, and we're going to attach that so the fan doesn't come off. There we go. Money! Let me get you over here so you can see it. So we got those screws on there. And all we did is we put 4 of them on. That'll hold the fan very nicely. You can see the hole on the inside is cut very well. And we actually cut in here a little bit, but that's no big deal. So we were going to fill this lid up a little bit, but it's so thin up here that I don't think it's going to be an issue. So we're going to try it as is. We'll see how much airflow we get, and then we will go from there. All right, so we're at the point where we're going to cut our hole in the front right here. So we're just going to use a hole saw. Now I don't have one that's big enough, but we'll cut this, and then we'll just eat away little chunks around the outside. We'll make it work. We'll make it fit. Pull the trigger all the way. There you go. Keep going. Okay, there's our hole. Then you got to hold this back. That's part of the chuck, so hold that silver part back. And we got to screw our actual hole saw on there. That's good. Let go. And that locks it in place. Okay, so for here, I'm going to help you, but you want to make sure that you have one hand on the bottom of the battery holding it like this, because it's going to want to try to kick over that way, okay? So go ahead and pull the trigger. Go ahead. Boom. Go ahead, pull the trigger again. Get it spinning so it can go back down. There we go. Look at that. So we've got that pull there. Mark it on here. We'll have to make sure we cut a little bit outside of that. I don't know when I put a new blade on this, but I'll tell you what, this thing cuts like butter. Dude, that is plastic's really junky. So the seal goes on this side. And this on the inside. There we go. So you can see we've got that's put in there, fans in there. We're gonna have to clean this out, but we're gonna get the fan wired up next, and then give it a test and see how much air is coming out with just one of these. Next part of this is to wire our fan up. We've got it all, well, mostly cleaned up. Got a little bit left to do, but we're gonna wire the fan up and test it out to see to see how it's working and which direction it's going. So the first thing we're going to do is cut these ends off of this. AP, I'm going to have you do this, buddy.
Alright.
Alright, so we've got to cut these ends off because we're going to use butt splices. I know all the butt splice haters are going to come out, but they work great. So all you're going to do is just cut these two ends off right like that, okay?
Okay.
Perfect. And then we got to strip the wire. So on these ones, I believe this is 14 gauge. So you're going to use, it'll be that guy right there. So you're just going to cut it, pull it. Okay? So it's that one right there. I'll help you with it. Yes, so right like that. And go about that much wire, and squeeze it, and then pull. Just like that. Now we're going to twist the wire a little bit. It's a butt splice. That's good. So we're going to go right where the metal starts is where we're going to start. And you can see that there's an insulated and a non-insulated part for the butt splice. Squeeze it really hard. Perfect. Do the same on the other one. Perfect. Now we've got to strip these ones back, and then we'll just touch them to see which way is forward and which way is reverse. There we go. Pretty sure if we do black is negative, blue is positive that it'll spin forward, but we're going to double check that. So this is where our power supply comes into play here. So we're going to get it out and get it connected. So this guy goes in the back of here. So this is the AC portion of it. Plugs into the wall. So we'll plug this guy in.
Alright.
And then that guy goes into here.
I'll plug it
Yeah,
in.
go ahead and plug it in. So the end of this screws off and the fuse goes inside. Ah, there's already one in there. Cool. So there's one in there and it came with a spare. Perfect. So go ahead and plug this in, and we have butt splices on the other end, so it's not gonna, they're not gonna touch, it's not gonna hurt anything. There you go. And then on the other end, we're going to put this, so we'll go black to black, and blue to blue. Is air coming out? Nope. So it's sucking that way. So we'll turn it around, go black to blue, and red to black. Tell me if air comes out. Good deal. So we're going to have to put some more vents, that way we get more airflow. And that thing's got to come out of there also. Cool. We've got some airflow. We can get our wires crimped on. Nice thing about this is it tells you if your fuse is blown or not. There's a green LED light so you know power's going out. So the interesting thing we found, this is just a floor drain for a shower, but we found that with this in there, it blocks way too much of the air. So if we just leave the hole open like this, the amount of air that comes out is insane in comparison to with it in there. So we're gonna go ahead and leave that out just so we've got more airflow. Check this out. And that's a heck of a lot of air. You can see definitely a lot of air going through there. So it is a little on the noisy side, I will say that, but the purpose of this is to move as much air as possible. So this will be awesome for what we're going to use it for. But this is going to my son's school so that the room that this is in won't be quite as hot. And we did one of these projects for another teacher at another school a few years back, and she still uses it to this day. So these things last, they work good, they're a little bit loud, but she said having this in the classroom drops it at least 10 to 20 degrees depending on the day and how hot it is outside. So this makes it bearable in a classroom with no air conditioner. So we're going to get this set up with some ice at some point and test it, but I know that it works. It's just a matter of airflow, and this has got a ton of it, so be awesome. All right, guys, thanks for watching. We appreciate you being here. This is going to go to my son's school and get auctioned off for one of the teachers' rooms. Hopefully keep them nice and cool. If you guys are interested in any of the parts we used, this is the Hotor power adapter. I got this off Amazon. If you just search for Hotor, H-O-T-O-R, you'll find it. And then the adapter here to plug into it with the fuse is the, I don't even know how to say it, Carvia, but it's that right there. So this guy was on Amazon also. It's the Carvia, and it's a 12 volt, 24 volt heavy duty electric adapter. So there's that, guys. Hey, thanks for watching. We appreciate you being here. AP appreciates you being here. This is for his school, so if you guys could like, share, support us and what we do, we'd appreciate it. This is my other channel here. We've got stickers and hats. If you want to check us out, I'll put a link below. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.